What's up guys, Csaba here from Game of Conversions and welcome to another proven sales letter breakdown video. So this is the 51st video, so we're officially past the halfway mark because now the challenge is at 100 videos. And for today, I want to break down a cool timeless space ad style sales letter from legendary copywriter Victor Schwab. So if you haven't heard about Victor Schwab before, he was one of those original gangsta copywriters who basically invented this whole craft. And get this ad was written in 1929. So it's more than 90 years old at this point. Think about it, 90 years old. And then you might be asking, like, Csaba, why are you reviewing such an old ad? Well, if we go through it, you'll see exactly how super relevant this is even to this day. I've seen tons and tons of modern day Facebook ads, YouTube ads, sales pages, landing pages, free plus shipping offers, which basically use the same formula. Like even the headline, it's still something that hits hard even to this day. So that's the reason why. If we go back to the source, if we go back to people who basically invented this whole craft, I believe that we can learn the true essence of what copywriting, direct response copywriting at least, is all about, and we can reverse engineer their knowledge so that we can apply it to today's market as well. So this isn't long at all. It was mailed in a newspaper, and it basically just sells a course or book, probably like a book about real estate, and it's a free book. So this is basically a lead generation offer if you think about it, or maybe it could also be a free plus shipping offer. And I do believe that if you were to run something like this today as a free plus shipping offer, it would do pretty well. Like obviously you would need more proof nowadays because people are more jaded. You would need a better unique mechanism because like people have seen tons and tons of offers before, just like this one. But in 1929, this was pretty revolutionary. And as I was reading this, it's totally understandable. It's totally simple to read. It uses language that's still relevant to this day. Seriously. So this is like demonstration for you right here that, you know, good copywriting is timeless because human psychology is timeless. Like we haven't really changed so much in the past couple of thousand years in terms of evolution and in terms of how we actually work as humans. Sure, seasons change, tactics around us change, methods of communication change, but like fundamental emotions that you have don't change, the feelings that you have don't change, the pains, fears, hopes, and dreams that you have don't change. So that's why it's so incredibly important to learn the basics of copywriting, because if you do, then you're going to write your own like checks throughout your life, because you'll be able to influence others, you'll be able to win friends, to sell stuff, to move people to do something, to take action. And really cool, you also feel like this initiated secret society type of person, because copywriting is really cool. And most people, especially out there, you know, brand marketers or people like that, don't really know much about it. So let's jump into this cool little space ad. But before we do that, if you like these videos, then I'd really appreciate it if you could like them, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel as well if you're new here, because I'm releasing these videos daily nowadays, and that way you'll be the first to know when I release a new one. And also, it helps me out a ton because YouTube's algorithm doesn't really like long-form content like this. It always wants like content that's aimed at ADD style people, that's very, very fast, you know. It talks about how to make money and very easy topics like that. But somebody's got to do these proven sales letter breakdowns as well, right? So if you can help me out with that, I would really appreciate it. But with that being said, let's jump into the sales page itself. So the headline goes, "How I Made $100,000 with a Fool Idea." And right off the bat, we can see that this is a how-to style fascination. And if you don't know what fascinations are, check out some of my previous videos. I did a bunch of fascinations on Mel Martin, boardroom copywriters, Clayton Makepeace, Paris Lampropoulos, all these people. But this is basically a fascination which also serves as a great headline. And it has everything. It has like this little case study element to it. It has a promise an implied promise basically, because it talks about how I made it, but it gets people interested in how they can make $100,000. And keep in mind, $100,000 90 years ago was a lot of money. It was probably millions in today's money, like 5 million or something like that. Even to this day, it would be a pretty hefty sum, definitely. Like everybody's talking about become a 6-figure copywriter or a 6-figure freelancer or something like that. So it's really powerful. And as Gary Halbert would say, it stimulates your greed glands, because now you start salivating. You want to learn how to also make $100,000. And then a full idea, I like it because what John Carlton once said is that you sometimes you can put a so-called incongruous juxtaposition in your headline. Now what this means is that you contrast two elements. Usually when you're talking about making millions of dollars, or in this case $100,000, but it translates to millions of dollars today, and you combine it with the full idea, it creates that cool little contrasting effect that gets people interested. It's like, how can that be? I want to find out. And that's what you want as a copywriter. You want people to read more and more of your stuff, because that way, that's the best way to actually convert them into paying customers or leads. And then under the headline, we have a little subhead which says, learn my money-making secret. Be a real estate specialist. Start at home in your spare time. Use my successful system. Free book shows how. So a bunch of cool little rapid fire things that make it even stronger. And once again, we can still see very similar stuff even to this day. Okay, so secret, like just think about Russell Brunson and his secrets. Like everything's a secret, and secrets convert. Like even after 90 days, like. How many headlines do you see with secret or a variation of this? Probably a lot. And it worked 90 years ago. It works today as well. Be a real estate specialist. I think that this is kind of a unique mechanism. It wouldn't be something like that today because it's just too broad. But back in those days, it probably wasn't such widespread. There wasn't many dead courses on how to become a real estate specialist or something like that. So I think in itself, it's a unique mechanism like that. Start at home in your spare time. Once again, this hook still works. Like how many business opportunity promotions have you seen that start with like, hey, work from home, from your laptop, in your spare time, earn 1K on the side, something like that. It totally works. And it basically highlights convenience. That's why people are always after the easy solution, the magic pill, the quick solution. And this basically just takes away friction that they have. Use my successful system. Free book shows how. So successful system, that's kind of implied proof, and free book shows how. This is kind of like a tease. It's like, what? Like I can get this knowledge for free? How? I gotta read. But instead of talking about the book itself, we start with a cool hook. It says, it's a full idea. That's what my friends said when I told them about my idea for starting a real estate business on the side. And I like this hook because it's so specific. I think every single person who has an entrepreneurial spirit has faced this type of issue before. Their parents, their spouses, their friends, their family, they all said, come on, man, like, why don't you want to do a real job like the rest of us? Like, it's a bad idea. It's a fool's idea. You're a fool. You're going to fail. That's what this is communicating. And I think it definitely taps into an already existing frustration and pain point that people have. Eugene Schwartz always talked about, instead of trying to manufacture a new pain point or a new desire, you should instead tap into an already existing pain point or desire in your existing market, because it's just what people want to hear. So this immediately starts connecting with them, and it taps into the frustration of they don't support me, like my family or something like that. Then we continue. But with that full idea, I made more than $100,000 net profit. So, I showed them how. And once again, this triggers a strong emotion in people. It's like, I'm going to show them. I'm going to prove that the model is wrong. I'm going to prove that I can do it. It's very powerful. Then we continue. No matter who you are, where you are, or what your sex or present occupation, if you want to do what I did, if you want to get out of the $25 a week crowd and build up a high-class, money-making business of your own, right at home, in your spare time. Send that once for my free book, which opens wide the door of the biggest and best money-making business opportunities you have ever heard of in your whole life. Whew, it's quite the mouthful. So I think one area of opportunity would be to basically like split this up into 2 or 3 sentences. For today's audiences, it's a little bit too long. And Gary Bencivenga always talked about like in order to get really good at copy, like always like read a promotion a day and then find one area that you can improve upon. And I think that this is one area that we can improve upon, but obviously, like, who am I to critique Victor Schwab like this? But I think that it would make it even better. And I like this part. Basically, a lot of things going on here. First of all, we have a qualification element. It says no matter who you are. So basically, this works for anybody, regardless of where you are in life. Then we have like a contrast between like, hey, you know, this is how I make $100,000 and this is how you make $25 per week. So that's like $100 a month. Think about it. What a big contrast. It's 1,000 times more. It's really powerful. And it gets people, it shocks people a little bit because like, damn, you know, I could do better. And then Victor Schwab immediately switches to paint the dream a little bit. It says, you know, okay, so maybe you're earning like this, but like I want to show you how you can also earn $100,000 in profit from home, even if you don't have an education, in your spare time. So he systematically like cuts away various other objections that people might have, and it gives a really, really big, bold promise. Now, very important, I don't really think that this promise in its own would work really well today because you need much more proof for this. People are much more jaded nowadays compared to 90 years ago because so many other people have copied these types of ads before. You know, the good copywriters, they always had their works copied by everybody else. It's no wonder John Carlton is called the most ripped off copywriter alive because like his copy is really punchy. It has that punch in the gut style story telling style, let's say, and a lot of people copy it, definitely. So that's also the main reason why you would need more proof for this. And then we have our first subhead, which says, use my successful system, which basically communicates I've done the work for you, so, you know, you just have to like try it because I've done the work for you. Like I have a system, okay? I don't just have a course or a book or something. I have a system, and a system implies that it has more depth. It works, okay? I created the perfect system for you. That's what this paragraph is about. And then we also have a nice metaphor because Victor Schwab says that, you know, unlike previous knowledge, which was not that good. So this is basically like explaining the unique mechanism of the problem that Stephen Georgi talks about in his RMBC method. So like showing how current solutions or past solutions are inferior and how, you know, now we've made it much better. And Victor Schwab talks about the same thing. It's like, you know, I've thrown away everything which is bad from the old stuff, and now this is completely brand new. It's something like unlike you've ever seen before. And we have a nice little metaphor that I like. It says, you know, it's which is as superior to the old way as the modern Mazda lamp is superior to the tallow candle of our forefathers. So it's a nice metaphor, even though it's a little bit weird for us because like, what the hell is a Mazda lamp? But whatever, you know, it was so relevant back then. And this just shows you like it was 90 years ago, but like the rest of the copy, it's totally applicable today, right? Moving forward, we have an objection handling element, which is really smart because like you make a promise, you explain the unique mechanism, you make a nice metaphor, and then you start answering objections that people might develop like immediately because at this point, some people might think, okay, this is cool and everything, but I don't have an education in that. No problem. You don't need an education. You know, I don't have experience in that. No problem. You don't need education. Yeah, you know, okay, but I don't have contacts, you know, in the government or something. I don't really know how to, like, connect with these people. No problem. You don't even need influence, okay? And at this point, some people might even start thinking, yeah, but I don't have a starting capital to like get started. No problem. You don't even need money for it. That's why it's so powerful, because like, and that this also shows why it's so important to do research as a copywriter, because at this point, Vic Schwab definitely knew what were the pains, fears, hopes, and dreams, frustrations, and objections of people, and then he could answer it preemptively. And after reading this, people are like, oh, okay, so wow, like this really must be something that might be okay for me. So then we have a call to action and a promise. It says basically send for this free book, and then I'm going to show you everything. I reveal everything. We have a little illustration here, a cool little illustration that probably builds intrigue. It shows like a wealthy man who has, the entire globe under his hand. So it symbolizes power, it symbolizes influence and money and maybe even fame or something like that. And I like it because it grabs attention a little bit. So then we have a little bit of future pacing and paint the dream style elements by saying, you can also have a splendid business of your own and make more money than you ever made before. So this paints the dream. It triggers the greed glands once again, and it's super powerful. And all throughout, at the bottom of this, we have a big ass little overview of like what's up with this. It's like mail coupon for free book. Like, how much more of an idiot-proof way do you need to like communicate something, right? Mail coupon for free book. That's it. Like, sometimes you don't need more. And then there's a big ass arrow that points to this as well. People can't miss this. One of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of copywriters make is that they don't really give ordering instructions, and their call to actions aren't specific and powerful enough. It's like, and this is powerful enough, and all throughout this relatively short promotion, like there are like 4 or 5 strong calls to action. Okay, so it seems like Victor Schwab was very good at this in like giving people that firm little like what to do next type of messaging. So then the second subhead talks about the new opportunity. So we have the promise, we have the new opportunity, we have proof, and we have call to action. I like it because it talks about how the real estate business like has unlimited growth potential. And if you think about it, it's probably right. I mean, there's tons of problems with it, and it's definitely not an easy business to break into. And the last financial crisis was triggered by the real estate market, if you think about it. But I like how he makes a reason why. He makes a logical connection. It's like, hey, the country is growing. We are building more stuff. So like somebody's got to sell that stuff. Why shouldn't it be you? Okay. And then the upside is limitless. Like users of my system are making $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 on single deals, as much as an average man gets for months and years of hard work. So this is an implied proof because it implies that the system itself is working, but it also is proof in the new mechanism, because like this real estate business, it really starts like stimulating people's desire. Like they really start experiencing desire for this. They start thinking like, wow, I didn't know this. Like I knew that this was something big, but like I could actually do it. Wow, I gotta find out more. Once again, that's what you want as a copywriter. And then we have a paragraph that relates to huge upside. Once again, it says the business is practically unlimited. 10 million properties are now on the market for rent, sale, or exchange, and you can start with little or no capital. 10 million. Now it's probably like, I don't know, 50 million or something. So it's definitely, this ad definitely aged well. And then we have some proof as well in like, you can start in your spare time, like so did others, and so can you. My free book tells you how. It's really short. It's really punchy. This style of copy I really like because everybody can understand it. If you went to school for a few years and you can read, you can definitely understand it. And it's really important as a copywriter to do that because people don't want to do the work. Definitely don't want to do the work. So my free book tells you how. it's powerful. So after this, we get the main proof section. So this is all made up of testimonials. Proof is super important because we have pretty big promises here. Like, we're talking about a lot of money, especially in those times. We have big promises, and we also have like qualifications, like this works for anybody. You don't even have to have a degree. You don't need to work on this in full time. You don't have to go into the office, you know, all these things. So people really need specific proof, and we get it because we said, Victor Schwab says, read these records. Here are just a few brief extracts from the many letters received from happy users of my money-making real estate system. And then we have, notice how it's super specific. It says, made $5,500 on first deal after getting your system. And then we have specifics. Former school teacher. Cool, because it gives people more context that this is achievable for anybody, okay? This is a former school teacher. This is a former dry cleaner, former grocery clerk, former housekeeper, former traffic manager, former housewife. It even works for housewives. So this, once again, it's a big objection handling element. So let's see this little testimonial. It says, have sold one $5,000 lot and 3 houses so far with your system. Mrs. B.H. Morehouse, New York, former housewife. Pretty powerful. And then we have, there are just a few samples of success that you will read about in my free book. Get it, read it, follow its instructions, make big money my way. Like, what else do you need? Get it, read it, follow its instructions, make big money my way. I mean, it's really to the point and powerful, and it especially appeals to to the target audience. Think about it. These are people who want to make more money, who are more likely self-starters than your average person, and they are definitely motivated by this type of language. And then finally, the final part, we get a big, straightforward CTA. Once again, you don't have to overcomplicate things. Just say, get free book now. Get free book now. Every single word earns its place, and it makes sense, okay? So then we have a paragraph that says, what can you expect, basically, with a few benefits. So Vic Schwab says, my big new illustrated book is filled with fascinating facts about my kind of a real estate business, what I did, what others are doing, what you can do. And then we have a call to action, mail coupon right now and get this valuable information. There's no risk to it because you don't have to spend money on it, and there's only upside. And I like how he also included something very similar to the Crossroads close, which is very common nowadays in sales letters, because he says, so act at once. You will never forgive yourself if you turn your back on this unusual chance to win big business success. So basically this means that you have two choices. Either you try this risk-free, it's literally free and the upside is unlimited, or you keep living your life as it is, you keep making the same mistakes, and then you'll continue struggling, okay? The choice is clear. Make your choice now. So that's what we have here, the prototype for this, and I think it's super powerful. And then on the order form itself, I especially like this little snippet because it has everything that's very important for the conversion itself. And this is very, very similar to Gary Bencivenga's famous persuasion equation. So we have, mail me your free book telling me, mail me your free book telling how you make $100,000 in a new kind of real estate business, how others are making big money, and how I can do the same. So it's just seriously 2.5 lines long, but it has everything that you need for conversions. You have a call to action. Mail me your free book. We have a benefit, like how you made $100,000, which implies that I'm going to make a lot of money as well. It has the unique mechanism, new kind of real estate business. It has proof by saying how others are also making big money. And then we have the promise as well, how I can do the same. It's a reverse promise, but it's still something like this. So really similar to Gary Bencivenga's persuasion equation. So yeah, that's it. I was really surprised to read this, to be honest, because it has so many elements that many Facebook advertisers, for example, or many sales page writers are still using to this day. And not all ads age so well, but this one, I think you can still do pretty well with it, even if you just copy it. Don't copy it. It's not enough anymore if you really want to be good at it, and it's also stealing, but it's really something that's solid and will give you a solid start, definitely. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please like the video. Also leave a comment like with your #1 outcome, like what's the one thing you learned from this that was like a wow for you. Maybe it was something related to proof, to the promise, to all the other copywriters that I mentioned, to fascinations, to specifics, something like that. And also, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then please subscribe to my channel. Also click the little bell icon near the subscribe button, because that way whenever I release a new video, you'll be the first to know when that happens. So thank you so much for watching, really appreciate it, and see you in the next one.